You can feel the sand underneath your feet as you are walking to the edge of the water. Go and sit down in the shallow water where the water crashes over your legs. Feel the wet ground underneath you as you sink into the sand. Connecting directly with the earth. As the waves crash over your legs, any stress or tension in the body is released into the water and carried away from you. The sun is shining down over you. Coming down through your crown, going down into your body, clearing all your chakras. The ocean breeze blows around your body, clearing your aura and your energy of anything that should not be there. As you are sitting here on the beach, we're going to bring down the diamond white light pyramid of pure crystalline white light. It goes over your head, all around your body, and underneath you. See yourself completely inside this diamond crystalline white light pyramid. Inside this pyramid, you are completely safe and protected. You know this, and you feel completely safe and protected. We are also going to fill the inside of the pyramid all around you with the blue light of truth. This light fills the pyramid every corner and all around you, so that only truth aligned with your highest self and truth of the highest integrity and of the highest self of Brandon may be spoken inside this pyramid. Do you allow the spirit of Brandon Lee to enter the pyramid with you?
Yes.
As Brandon is in the pyramid, he is also completely safe and protected, and he is also within the blue light of truth, so that only the truth aligned with his highest self and of the highest integrity may be spoken today. Up above you in the sky is the beautiful cloud that can travel anywhere in the universe. It is starting to come down towards you to pick you up so that you can travel wherever is appropriate for Brandon Lee to speak through you with ease. As the cloud is coming down towards you, coming down to the ground, I am going to start saying the spirit phrase to put you deep into trance. Ishput Nis. Ishput Nis. Ishput Nis. Has the cloud reached you yet?
Yes.
At this time, you can get up from the ground and go sit inside the big fluffy cloud. Lay back in the cloud and get comfortable as it wraps around you like a warm blanket. The cloud carries your body weight, allowing you to feel completely weightless. So that there is no tension or distress in the body. This allows your body to feel completely at ease. Also knowing that you are safe and protected. You are completely comfortable and at ease on the cloud. At this time, if there are any sudden noises, they will not bother you or wake you up. You will simply observe them and continue moving forward. The cloud is starting to rise up from the ground, floating up above the water. Gradually floating higher and higher, taking you wherever is appropriate for the spirit of Brandon Lee to speak through you with ease. I'm also going to continue saying the spirit phrase to put you deep into trance. As the cloud floats higher and higher into the atmosphere, Ishput Nis. Ishbut Nis. Ishbut Nis. Now the cloud is slowing down. It's going to start descending to land wherever is appropriate. As the cloud comes down, I'm asking the consciousness and personality of Ben to recede from the front of the mind so that the consciousness and personality of Brandon Lee may come forward. When the cloud comes down to the ground, you will be fully open and Brendan will be able to come through and speak with ease. The cloud is coming down to the ground. Ishbut Nis. Ishbut Nis. The cloud is flowing down to the ground. We're calling Brendan Lee forward. Calling Brendan Lee forward. Ishbut Nis. Ishbut Nis. Ishbut Nis. Brendan, as you are coming forward, feel free to speak at any time.
Oh, wow.
Is this Brendan?
Yes.
How does it feel to be in a body?
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Not as long as Herman.
No. Oh, wow. Ben's bed feels amazing. Well, I guess I could say that was a short flight.
Yeah. We do things quick around here. Are you feeling good? Do you need me to keep saying the phrase?
No. I'm just reconfiguring, I guess.
Yeah. Getting used to it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I can actually swear it's been fucking forever since I've been in a body.
Yeah, a few decades.
Yeah. I saw that the other day was the anniversary of my death.
Yes.
It's been the number is staggering. 29 years.
How does it make you feel to see so many people honoring that day?
Well, I knew that I had fans, and from what I saw with my father passing away, that normally that legendary status always happens when passing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can live your life as a legend alive, but it really hits when you pass.
Yeah, for some reason, humans in general pay more attention when you're gone than they do when you're here.
Which is fine. I mean, I believe that's in most cultures, even throughout the universe.
We have some questions for you here, but is there anything you want to say before we start?
Nope. This is why we're here.
Okay. How did you come to being Ben's spirit guide?
Okay. When Ben was 16, this is when he actually started becoming more aware. Well, he wasn't aware, but his body was evolving throughout high school. He was actually, for Halloween, me as the crow. He wasn't exactly the crow, but his hair was longer. He painted his face.
Yeah.
He wore his own leather jacket, and he dressed in complete black. And it's how he devoted that attention on Halloween is when I noticed him. I noticed my dad was around him, and I knew that my part wasn't going to come into play until much later. And it did when you, I think it was when you had the group chat when we all started really getting to know one another.
Mm-hmm.
That I came into role of being on Ben's spirit team. I mean, I already knew it, and it felt that the timing was completely right and correct.
Was this planned before he was born?
No, I was not being planned. I mean, if you really want to come down to it, maybe the whole blueprint of it all, maybe yes, but I wasn't planning on dying when I did at a certain time. During that movie, I guess we all had. I guess I had higher expectations in forms of my acting career and my martial arts.
Yep. And we're gonna get into a lot of that in later questions.
I mean, prior to my death, down the line, I can't quite remember, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month or so, or 3 months, I was planning on getting married.
Oh wow.
And I think that that is probably what I needed to heal when I stepped into play. I know Athena said like I needed to go to a certain place and heal, and that's what I did. That was the part. There, I was holding on to a lot of residual sadness, and like a part of me wasn't forgiving myself for doing that role, and I needed to move past that and recalibrate my chakra, so to speak.
Yeah. A light question from Ben here. What was your favorite breakfast?
I know it's not as healthy as probably what my father would have had, but Pop Tarts.
I used to love those.
Yes, they're very quick. They're very easy.
Which flavor did you like?
Strawberry.
I was all about s'mores and the brown sugar and cinnamon.
Oh, those are good too. Yep, you can eat them hot, cold.
Yep.
I found out like after passing when when Ben was hanging out with one of his friends, he puts his in the freezer and he ate them cold. I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that when I was alive?
Oh, were they not too hard?
Well, yes and no, but he also crumbled them up and put them on top of ice cream.
Oh God, that's funny.
And I'm like, oh man. I mean, I wasn't like too much into junk food a lot, but if I wanted like something, like if I had to go on set real quick and I needed something to eat, that was it.
Mm-hmm. What was the meaning for his dream last night? That I'm guessing you know what he's talking about.
Huh. Yes, it was a very strange dream. So, Ben got into like this, he was showing me that he was in a contract, which he did remove. And the I don't want to call them characters, but like I guess we're all characters in a way.
Yeah.
These people that came into play in the dream, these characters, one being a female who was would seem to be like a director or an orphanage. All in all, Ben was like orphaned in a dream. And I'm trying to analyze the dream myself right now, looking at it, because it is kind of choppy and jumpy. But like, these beings were trying to like control him completely. Like, they had like their own security, which policed everything, even parts of like the town that he was in. But him constantly rebelling and lashing out, he found a loophole and got himself kicked out. And then he tried coming back to getting his stuff, and they're saying like, oh, you can't come back because you're not in contract anymore. It's like, well, piece of my things. It's like, you don't live here anymore. So, the female character actually started like becoming like, I don't want to say like like friendly, but like her friendly had a catch. So obviously she had something more politically to gain from him coming back and getting us stuff. And what the dream I see, and from what I'm analyzing right now, is that he needs to be careful on who you become back friends to again, who show you a very false front and being controlling. I mean, if that's the case, they are an enemy, and you should be careful on that kind of trust that you give. And it seems like this person is also another aspect of someone we might know.
Do you know who the living person is that this is connected to?
Yes and no. I mean, we all have so many soul fragments of different people, it's ridiculous. So, like, the name keeps coming up. Memoir. I don't know if you know anyone that's associated with the French, but that's who the name keeps popping up.
I have no idea.
Yeah, see what I mean? So it could be someone down the line. It could be, but like that person's aspect is always being in play with them. It's normally like a suppressive female. I'll give a couple of name drops. Tina, his boss from that retired about like 4 to 5 years ago, that gave Ben PTSD. Her underling, Stephanie, who's gone on vacation, who's quite frankly was kind of molded into her. Maybe not 100%, but she left trauma and attachments to Stephanie.
Yeah.
So in one retrospect, she's like I said, she's an underling. She's a minion. And there's been others. Remember that young lady that claimed that she was in love with him, but she was like a heroin addict?
Yeah.
She's part of that. And it's that kind of deceit that using the female persuasion and narcissism to get their own personal gain. That's what you should be watched out for. Wow, that was a complex dream.
Yeah. So his next question, and this is kind of vague. I'm guessing you know more specifically what he means. He wrote, "Is Ben doing the spiritual work?" Which obviously he is.
Yes, I think he was just trying to test me to see if I see that I'm doing the spiritual work. And even myself, I've been doing spiritual work too. I got rid of a lot of those attachments last week. And this week too.
Thank you, because those headaches were not fun.
Yeah, no. You don't need that shit.
And so much has been going on, and I wasn't sure the first time that it was even linked to you, but then when it happened twice in a row, right before your session, I was like, oh, okay, so there's something going on.
Ben kind of felt it too.
Do you have a dragon form?
I do. A very big one.
Where does your dragon reside?
I like to go traveling when I'm not around Ben. I mean, generally I am, but when I'm doing on my own thing, I like to travel the universe. But I do like to go to Draco a lot.
All right, now we're gonna get into it here. What made you decide to do the crow?
He had to put that question in. I like the script. When I got the script, I did find out that it was a comic book series made by Dark Horse, and I just like the feel of like a rock and roll kind of like musician, that dark side of me coming out.
That was an awesome movie, script-wise.
Thank you. A lot of the scenes were done with probably the best CGI that was offered to filmmaking at the time.
Yeah.
So certain scenes that I was in, you could tell, but some scenes that you can't tell that it was me. And but ultimately, I used to like riding my motorcycle. I liked listening to heavy metal. I always had that rebel in me. Like, I never wore a motorcycle helmet. I always thought, like, if I'm gonna die, it's gonna be that certain way. I'm gonna go that way. So I felt that, for as far as my career, that kind of dark look would kind of push it in a different twist and a different angle, give me more serious and more darker roles, and that's what I was trying to go for. I even used some extreme acting skills in certain scenes, like the graveyard scene where I came out of my grave.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I sat in a tub of ice water for like an hour to give that rigor mortis effect when I came out of the grave.
Wow.
That's why you saw me stumbling around. That was me trying to like get the feeling back into my body again. And that's the kind of like I wanted to not necessarily prove it, but to show to the world that's the kind of acting I wanted to bring to it.
Yeah. The soundtrack was so amazing too. Like it just made it.
Yes,
And
I agree.
speaking of the soundtrack, did you wake me up with that today?
I did.
Thanks. Oh, hold on. Okay, thank you. Shh, thank you. Mailman got here.
Ah,
Lucy.
yeah, we
Shh.
know Lucy does not like the mailman.
She doesn't like any person walking up to the cell. It's okay.
That's a good dog.
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's enough. I know. Thank you. Settle down. Okay. Are you guys still good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was just gonna say, at least you woke me up with a song I like, so I'm not complaining.
The Cure is always very good.
Yeah.
It was
And Depeche Mode.
it was very fitting for that scene, and I did get to see the preview. It's when I was in spirit form, so I did. I technically speaking, I did watch the movie, and it was good.
Have you watched it again through Ben?
I have on several occasions.
So are you happy with the outcome?
Yes, yes, I am. I mean, yeah, no one really wants to be dead, but you know, that it is what it is.
this gal does. I'm ready. I'm so ready to be on that side.
And Ben has those days too. Um, and it's totally understandable. I know that your timeline has been shortened tremendously, and
Yeah.
it's expected.
It's different for me too. Like I've known it was coming. Maybe I thought I had some more years, but especially when your partner is in spirit, it makes it a lot easier to want to be there.
Ben feels that too with Sunbeam.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the big question. Well, I know this question, but I'm going to ask. Were you murdered on the set of The Crow?
Yes, maybe not directly by the actor, but there was a
Someone put bullets in the gun that shouldn't have been there.
exactly.
Do you know who did it?
Um, I want to say it's the same people that murdered my father. Um, they were trying very hard throughout the whole film. Um, there was um, a light fixture that fell on a cameraman in the church. I did a few scenes in that area. He actually, I believe, broke his legs when it hit him.
So
The
you knew they were
explosion.
coming for you.
Yes.
Sorry, what were you going to say about an explosion?
Remember the pawn shop that explodes in the movie?
Yeah.
Um, I was too close to the blast, and I got cuts from the glass from the explosion, and my mother called up the studio saying like, "What are you trying to do? Kill my son?" And the studio assured him no, but I was hesitant. I knew it was coming. I assured my mom that everything's going to be fine. I assured my sister everything's going to be fine. And then a week and a half later, I was shot. And everyone seems to think that it was that big shootout scene. It wasn't. It was the opening scene of the movie. Now, what some filmmakers do and producers do and directors do is that they film different scenes
Yeah.
and then just kind of patch them together.
It's not really filmed in order that we see it.
Exactly. And it was that first beginning scene that the actor who played, the blonde actor that played Fun Boy.
Yeah.
He was the one with the gun in the scene. And he was the one that shot me.
Is that the scene where you're in bed and he's in the room?
No, that was the scene where I opened up the door and they came in with the eviction notice. Like, it's the very first scene in the movie.
Okay, I haven't seen it in so long I can't remember.
The main character I opened up the door, and the main character says, "Eviction notice? Place looks fine to me." I've seen the movie so many times, I can recite other people's lines. But, yeah, there was that scene that he came in.
Okay.
And
I think the one I'm thinking of is the one they thought that happened where you're laying in bed and that dude has busted into your place holding a gun towards
yes.
you.
Yes, exactly. That was it. That was the scene. Like the very first scene in the movie.
Why did they want to kill you?
I came into recently finding out what my father was trying to do, and it was his martial arts techniques, trying to learn and get better. Well, I was doing the same, and I also came to find out that he was trying to protect the children, and in the pedophile contracts that were going along with sex trafficking in Hollywood. And my mother didn't know about this. My sister still doesn't know about any of this. I kind of kept it out of the public eye for a good reason.
Yeah.
But it was all linked to the Chinese mob. The triads. And the sex trafficking of the children, they weren't even there were a part of them where it's being sex trafficked, and the ones that no one really wanted were being used in the manufacturing of adrenochrome.
So if they didn't want to claim a kid for sex, then they would just use the body to make adrenochrome?
Exactly. Which is fucked up, because normally those children would have some kind of mental disorder, say Down syndrome, or some kind of ailment that would make them unsatisfying to their disgusting customer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why my sister found out, and I found out reading through Ben, that my father wanted to do a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. to help children. Now, the reason for that being, he wanted to help children so they could eat better, live a better life, probably get into like a martial arts program. Well, if a child can learn how to fight, he'll kick the shit out of like someone that's trying to molest them.
Yeah. And they don't want the kids to be strong enough to defend themselves.
Not at all. You and so that was another reason why he was killed, is because he was what he was trying to do. And I was going down that line trying to like help the kids, and they found out that, oh, I'm doing this dark movie about like ghosts and, or should I say spirits, and little do they know that, spirit doesn't really die.
Right.
And
although they want to try to control that too. They're trying.
Yeah, the key word is trying. I mean, it's strong souls like my father, Brandon, Brad, Sunbeam. Like you can't just snuff it out.
No.
I mean, they do have, they're trying to like incorporate different technologies through reverse engineering, but they're only coming up with a small portion.
So can you explain to me this technique you and your father were trying to master and how it would help the kids?
Well, this technique was done by pressure points. That was the skill that was used against my father. Someone placed a certain part of his hand or fist and hit a certain nerve that killed my father. But you can also use it to like disable certain limbs. Like, for example, hitting under the armpit at a certain rate and velocity can actually, it won't like break the arm, but the arm will be considered motionless and suffer minor paralysis. And it's the same with like hitting the inside nerve of like the leg, like in the thigh muscle. You could stop the leg from actually working, which you can actually can't chase someone if you can't run.
Right.
So basically, those type of like areas. That's what he was trying to do.
What would you like people to know, or what would you want to say to the public about Hollywood?
The Hollywood that we know of is run by the dark forces that control the country. And it's fine to go see these movies and stuff like that. But just keep in mind and bear in mind that the people that play these characters, they don't even know who they are anymore. They're not the people that they originally hired. And if they are, there's so many attachments to these people that make them almost inhuman. And there's a lot of Illuminati involvement, a lot of Vatican involvement, and even the CIA is even involved. And not only that, like, you even got these entities trying to get their little greasy hands on everything too. And that was starting to be into play with my death too. Like, certain things that did happen, they were saying that the whole picture was haunted. It wasn't haunted. Well, it was, but it was by an entity that wanted me dead. And those are the same things that are crawling around behind the scenes of a lot of these major motion picture films.
I don't know if you're expecting this question or not. I'm just going to ask, were you ritually abused in Hollywood?
No. Unlike a lot of the kids that were around, I really didn't have too many friends, but I had my sister. But we were only exposed to like what my father showed. Like,
oh, I'm sure he
up,
knew what was going on, so he probably kept you well shielded from that.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, he would have like a lot of like martial arts equipment in the backyard, around the house. He had his a closet that he kept a padlock on, and he was the only one that knew the combination.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if, say, for example, I wanted to train with some nunchucks, I would have to ask permission. I couldn't exactly just go right in. But we also had stuntmen, certain like celebrities that would come in the back, and there was a lot of screaming and breaking of boards. So I was well protected all the time. My father probably, if someone were to break into the house to try to harm the family, he would probably make sure that they would never walk again.
Right, yeah, they would be dead.
And
so, what I'm trying to figure out with my question is, since your dad was already famous and very protective, that kind of shielded you from what they do to a lot of actors and actresses. Do you
yes.
know, or do you feel, if you had lived longer than the Crow and had become bigger, especially in like the mainstream movies, would that have come your way?
I think that they would try to change me with contracts. Um, ultimately, I don't think I would have been cloned because I only allowed a certain people in my personal life anyways.
Yeah.
But I know that I would probably have a little bit more of a direction and looking for like I probably would try to like do a little bit more for the kids as well. You know, kind of like what my father would have done. Maybe not so much with like a cartoon, but like I don't know. I would develop a character that they could relate to kind of like help them in that way.
Yeah. So, my questions here are about to shift away from the Hollywood aspect. Is there anything else you want to say on those lines?
No.
So, I want to ask you a question I've been asking every spirit I talk to, especially for the first time in these sessions.
Okay.
I know you know that me and Herman and others talk about this a lot, but I want to hear from you. What is happening with Gaia and the planet at this time?
Well, Gaia is trying to recalibrate the best she can, but she's fucking pissed off. Like, really fucking pissed off.
Yeah. I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, have you ever had that itch that you just can't scratch
Yes.
because you just can't reach? Because you just can't reach it.
I've been having one in my left ear during this whole session.
Well, that's exactly how Gaia feels when it comes to human beings. And there's only as much as we're trying to like help, meaning we like spiritual people. Um, sometimes she just doesn't feel like it's good enough. Like there's not enough of that being put into her.
Right.
Definitely being taken out of her. But
yeah, there's too much raping of the planet on a mass scale. I mean, just the trees alone. They're cutting down trees everywhere.
Yeah, Ben was walking down the road that he goes to towards work, and he saw that one of the new neighbors that used to live right around the corner from his old house took down 2 massive trees. And it made Ben so mad. So fucking mad. And he sees it happen all the fucking time. It's just like, leave it the fuck alone. That area doesn't need a fucking draining ditch. That fucking place doesn't need to be blowed down for another freaking parking lot because there's plenty of fucking parking.
Mm-hmm.
It's unnecessary. There used to be a lot of working fairies, and my parents were just like, "Oh, those are bugs," and like it literally sounded like a worker's wheel, like they're grinding and making tools and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of neighbors came in, started pulling out a bunch of weeds and grass and shrubberies and shit. You don't hear it anymore. The fairies are gone. They went somewhere else.
Sad, yeah.
Like there used to be tons of fairy folk and like the back lot that Ben had growing up. Like he would play in those woods all the time. Poison ivy or no poison ivy. Fucking even give a care. But like they took it out. They put a fucking house up. And
It was like that in Georgia. Constant construction.
And yeah. It's so shitty. It's like there's no need for it. And now you get like these idiots in like the friggin' state forests and conservation, and it's all being run by like fucking these fucking ETs that are like killing people.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's not only that, they're like, you want to know why you haven't been hearing too many things about Bigfoot lately?
Yeah.
Because they've all been rounded up and they've all been brainwashed by the CIA. That's why they're starting to do all these weird rituals and making it look like they're satanic rituals.
So the CIA is doing mind control ops on Sasquatch beings?
Sasquatch and yeah.
Oh my god.
Now these creatures are originally docile.
Yeah.
They're scarier looking now. They look more bear-like than Sasquatch, but they're like bear hybrid looking. So there could be like some genetic experimentation done to them.
We have a lot up here that I see more energetically than physically, and they seem to be like more gorilla hybrid. Like they have a lot of gorilla energy.
Yes. In certain areas though, they're hostile. And they only take certain parts out of people's body for ritualistic eating. Like the CIA is teaching them how to like use those. It's like that New Hampshire place that's around the corner from you, the one that serves people. Ugh.
Wait, what?
Do you remember like there's an underground base close by?
I know there's underground stuff up here, but I did not know one of them was actually serving up people. I've seen that when I was still in Georgia. I had an astral trip where I saw an underground facility in Virginia or West Virginia, or on the line of the two.
There's a place around there like that.
I did not know there was one up here doing that. Oh my god.
They're trying to do the same thing that they're doing in like the state parks and forests, and it's just a little bit more smoke coming because there's a lot of rock bed that they have to go through.
Yeah. Are the spirit realms preparing for a war on Earth?
They are. They're just being precautious of that outbreak. As the New Age spiritual leaders on the planet should be doing. They should be stepping into their role as spiritual ambassadors to prevent this.
How would spiritual leaders prevent this from happening?
Well, through through love rather than just spreading hate or anything like that. Like, I'll give you a prime example. There's a lot of arguing in the spiritual community.
Yeah.
Now, if we just got rid of the arguing completely, that's how we handle it. With talk as being diplomatic, rather than us arguing and pointing the blame.
Do you have any messages for Ben?
I do. I had to think about that one. As far as from what you dreamed about, this is my message to you. Be careful on who you trust. A lot of people that you first meet, you trust them because of their placement of authority, or they'll act like you're their friend. Just be careful. Not everyone that smiles at you is a friend. Not everyone that gives you advice is your friend. You have to look through your heart and not with your mind. And the heart chakra is also a truth detector. And you should use this as your advantage, because that's how you can see the bullshit. That's it.
Do you have a message for me?
Oh, hold on. I have to recap that message. I did. God damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue.
You telepathically told me before the session started that you had a surprise for me.
I know. I'm even covering Ben's eyes. I'm just like, oh fuck, what is it?
Is Herman involved with this surprise?
Yes. But there was a message that would like trigger it. It would be like, boo boo. Damn it.
Okay, well, we can come back to that if you remember.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Don't complicate the simplicity. And that means about everything.
You know you're talking to a Virgo? My
Yes,
brain can complicate anything.
And I think that's exactly why it needed to be said, that the simplest things, no matter how simple it can be, don't add extra complications to it.
Yeah. Like I know there's
It's funny.
a phrase that like law enforcement use, or people that train in those type of jobs, that the simplest explanation is always the answer, or usually the answer.
Yeah. That's pretty much like that with anything, really.
Yep.
And my father would always say, simplicity is key.
I think I get why I need to hear this message right now, too, because of a session and things that have happened with someone else I know. And it's really convoluted and complicated, and it's just a mess. And so I've been working really hard to not absorb that person's stuff and not take on their beliefs about it.
Oh, okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. That's fine. I I think I kind of know, but yeah.
You may, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a message for the collective?
Now, this is normally a message that's been common, and there's a reason why it's so common, is because it it needs to be the new program of the now, and that is love. Love will cock block any bad juju. It will prevent all bad things from happening. See, for example, someone is throwing their fucking shade around. It could be anybody. It could be like a customer that you serve at work. Um, Keep continually smile through it, breathe through it. Um, and if they say, "Why are you so fucking happy?" Turn to them and be like, "Well, I hope you have a better day." That will make them stop. That'll make them feel like, oh, it just makes them realize that mirror that they just looked at.
Kill them with kindness.
And yes, that's all you gotta do. Like, I mean, yeah, there will be those times when it's just gonna affect you no matter what, but let it affect the moment, not the day.
Yeah.
Breathe, collect, ground, move on.
All right, I have two questions here that were given to me when we were going to do your session publicly.
Okay.
Here's the first part. I'm going to read the whole thing because it's a question and then with something else they said after it.
All right.
What does it look like and feel like wherever he is? I mean, days when he's not being channeled. I always wondered how it looks and feels wherever you go when you pass on.
Well, sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, like when I'm, say, for example, if I'm moving from one place to another, it's almost like I'm swimming. I mean, you could. It's very hard to describe to like in uh, in human terms because words really can't describe it.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
But there's a space in between. That's normally where we reside. That's how we travel. Um, Thought processes are instantaneous. So, say for example, I wanted to go to Drago. I just gotta think about it and then move there. And the space in between is how we pull each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when, well, this is, I mean, I've channeled through Ben before, um, and how that feels. It's like two peas in a pod. He takes one part, I take the other.
Yeah.
That's how that would feel when I'm, and like what I said, when I'm not doing anything, I'm pretty much cruising around the galaxy in my dragon form, just kind of seeing what's out there. Um, sometimes um, we, I've actually been, we've been told by Sunbeam to kind of slow down the spirit missions. Um, Ben and myself would do galactic missions and try to like secret ops kind of stop war productions.
Mhm.
But there was a lot of they're using a lot of AI and a lot of grappling technology that will bring you down and kind of fuck up the spirit work, as you all know.
Yeah.
And so Ben's just mainly been like, only when he really, really has to, he'll do a spirit mission now. Um, but lately, it's just him just and Sunbeam just going to the big place at evening, which is fine. It's fine. that's their that's their fun time.
Yeah.
We all know what that's about.
Exactly. That probably means that's when you take off in dragon form.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing my own thing.
So I have a question for you. This is from Danny. It
Okay.
doesn't make sense to me, so I'm guessing you're gonna know what she's talking about. She said, "I want to know about him and that cloud of smoke, like stuff that seems to have glitter inside, and someone named Randall."
Smoke of the glitter. I'm not sure what she means about the smoke of the glitter. Um, as far as Randall was an actor that I knew. He was on The Crow. Um, that wasn't even really his real name. He just kind of was just kind of a name that I gave him because he looked more like a Randall. Um, but like as far as the smoke and the glitter, sometimes I do kind of come into form of that. And if she does see that, then she is seeing me because I do check up on a lot of my spiritual buddies, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
Um, like I'll pop in and I'll check on Bella and see how the kids are doing. Um, whether they know I'm there or I'm not. Obviously, Danny sees me, and hopefully that's what she's referring to. And the glitter, now, I guess that would be kind of like the shimmering aspect.
Yeah, it's probably like light sparkles or something.
Like, I know that, and this is from what I've talked to Sunbeam when Ben was growing up. Um, he would see her through the window at a certain time, and what looked like dust particles, when they were, um, the light that would shine through, that would shimmer off the dust particle, that was Sunbeam.
Yeah, Herman has done that to me.
So it's a. So I guess that would be the common thing. I guess I'm a little bit more shinier than some people, which is all right. It's all right.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, you know what? We all have a bright side.
Yep. That's all the questions I have. So, if whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, I think we covered it all. Um, yeah, I'm glad that a lot of there wasn't a lot of like guys that came in to ask the questions, but I'm glad that I still do have a lot of female fans that think I'm gorgeous.
Yes, and
Yeah.
with me, with the people who keep up with what I do, it's mostly females. Ben is the main male, especially as far as Quantum Trance. Um, I don't think a lot of the men on my Facebook can really handle me. Some can, but not a lot.
Oh yeah, it's that fiery personality of that Draconian.
Yeah.
Well, as speaking for Ben, I think it's a big honor to be around such powerful female influences on the spiritual community, and for
Well,
him to
thank
be
you.
part of that, and for myself, and I even to Sunbeam, she also has that masculinity um aspect that pops out, even when she is like being completely frou frou as could be. She still has that masculinity.
Yeah.
Um, to have that come into like play and being like that male figure in the group, yeah, I think it's fucking amazing, and I Ben should know that he should be extremely privileged on having that and being a part of it.
Well, thank you for that.
No problem. It's also a compliment for Ben too, because that's impressive.
All right. So, if there's nothing else you want to talk about, I'm
No, I
going to
think we covered it all.
I'm going to get ready to wake him up then. So, at this time, I'm asking all the personality and consciousness of Brandon to please recede from Ben's body and his energy and take all your energy with you. I'm calling forward the personality and consciousness of Ben, calling Ben back to your body. I'm calling Ben back to your body. I'm going to count to 5 to wake you up. And when you awaken, you will feel refreshed and alert as if you just had a really good nap. You're going to feel refreshed and alert and have a really great day. 1, start blinking your eyes. 2, start wiggling your fingers and toes. You're feeling back in your body.